It's been 1 week. Because maybe it was intended to... I want to say maybe it has been intended there was like maybe there could have been like made some changes here, but since it's a demo, that's not really worth criticizing. Did I lose it? Oh shit! I duck into the front gate of a nearby house and duck below the line of the privet hedge. I take care to make as little sound as possible with the shopping bag clutched in my hands. I need to get this back, for none of this was worth it. Don't think it saw me. I rise up from my crouched position. Gah! I turn and run, hopping the fence of the house next door, over the hedge, and back onto the road. Stealth isn't going to save me right now. It's only a short distance to Sayori's place now. If I make a run for it, I can probably make it. I look back over my shoulder. Damn. More of them. I continue running, my jog turning into a sprint as my destination enters my line of sight. Another one interposes itself between me and the door. Why did it have to be that one? With a flailing arm, I lash out. As I strike, it begins to dissolve, flashing to liquid dust around my fist. I press on the final few meters to the door. I'm not looking back this time. I slam the door behind me. I wait a few seconds and then exhale deeply. They haven't come inside before and I don't think they are about to. They started showing up as soon as we'd left the school premises that day. Honestly, I think they're just toying with us at this point. This is a game after all. I look down at the shopping bag full of food in my hands. Do we even need this? I mean, we're just lines of code at the end of the day. Do we really starve? I feel hunger, but if I don't eat, will I actually die? Maybe that's why Monica was so set against me going out on my own. Maybe she knew it was futile. I don't know. Yes, you will die. After all, the girls also died before they were even deleted. Like, deletion and death are different processes. I suppose you could see deletion as like a different type of death, but like generally dying, you can do that without being like without your files being corrupt. Like without. Even if you're just a file, you can die. We've seen it with the girls in the main game. And I'm stuck here trying to learn all the rules of the world I thought I knew. It's been a week and I'm no closer to figuring it out. At this point, I'm finding it easier to just focus on the task at hand than think about the implications of our situation. There you are! What the hell were you thinking going out on your own like that? What would Sayori have done if you'd have gotten yourself killed, or who knows what by those things? How could we face Natsuki? Sorry, Monica, but we were out of food. I needed to, I think. Hold the shopping bag to Monica, which she inspects. Her stern expression gives way to a small smile. John, I don't know if we need this. You're right. I'm sorry. Whether we do or not, I don't know, but if we stop behaving like people, then what are we really? I didn't want to lose you. That's why I got mad. What's with Yuri? Is her file just completely corrupted with no return? Come on, let's make something to eat. Then it's your turn to rest, okay? Thanks. The two of us prepared a simple meal from what I could grab from my house. Just some curry rice. And I'd head upstairs to Sayori's room. We entered the room completely unnoticed by Sayori, who's currently sat at her computer hunched over. She's surrounded by empty mugs, and her eyes look sunken and marked with red, dark circles. Hey, Bun! Look what we've got! Sayori instantly perks up at the sound of Monica's voice and whips around, springing out of her chair. Oh, yes! Thank you, guys! Oh, thanks, you guys! Don't thank me! It was John that risked his neck to get this stuff. Sorry for making you guys worry. She was already cramming forkfuls of rice into her mouth. Oh, forgiven. A smile manages to creep across my face as I watched the girls dig in. Monica's right. Whether or not our bodies need this food is irrelevant. Our minds definitely do. Our souls do. I take a few mouthfuls of food at first, but it soon descends into ravenous shoveling. For a few minutes, I feel human again. Laying on Sawyer's bed, I tried to at least get some sleep. We'd been taking in turns to rest, so nobody ended up on their own at any time. You know, just in case. Hope Sarah's been getting her sleep. She looks like crap. She's been working solidly all week. As I watch her from across the room, tapping away on her computer, I slowly drift off. I'm so lost. I can't find you. John, I wish you were here. I wish we could just be together. Please, come find me. Natsuki! Natsuki! Natsuki, please! Don't go, not again! John, wake up! Yeah! Ah! You scared me! Sorry. You were having a nightmare. She was right there. Oh, John. Funny you should say that. I've got some news for you. Come take a look. I follow Monica over to the computer. She starts pointing out lines of code on the text editor on her screen. Do you know what this is? I inspect the lines she points out, one by one, painstakingly reading each one with an affirmative grunt and nod. Nope, no idea. What is this? I don't suppose you recognize her like this. Wait, this, John? It's Natsuki. The mention of the name stops me in my tracks. Is she... I didn't tell you before because I didn't want to get your hopes up, but over the last couple of days we found her. Parts of her, at least. Parts? Mom, it sounds bad when you put it like that. Whoops. Guess you're right. Sorry, John. I take a few moments to stop hyperventilating and allow my heart rate to drop a little. Please just tell me what's going on. Well, the reason I couldn't find it was... while it was deleted was that her data was split into separate files. I really didn't want her coming back. And the last 2 days, you and I have been working hard to recompile her file. And I'm happy to tell you that we just got done and we're ready to restore her. That's amazing! Thank you! Thank you so much, Monica! Sorry, I've been skipping your sleeping time to get this done. Yeah, kinda. Sorry. I don't have it in my heart to admonish her for being reckless, not when she's given me something like this. I promise you, Sayori, however long it takes, I will find a way to make this up to you. Sean, you helped save my life, remember? If anything, I owe you. I struggle to hold back the tears. So what's left to do? All I have to do is push the button. I can barely contain myself at this point. Well, shall we? Alright. And away we go! What's wrong? There's some type of error. I don't know. What the hell? Damn it! This can't be happening, Monica. 99! No way, I'm sure I had it all! I don't know. No? You can't save her. Ah, it's archived now all of a sudden. Is anyone else seeing this? Was that archive? I wonder. I'm sorry, John. I'll look into this right away. We're so damn close. Monica? Is there any way I could go in there as myself? In the recycle bin? I guess. But why? Don't ask me how I know this. But I don't think we're dealing with archive here. You don't? You don't? I just took a look, and there's something else in there. And it's definitely not archive. Huh. They must have eluded me when I was there myself. The This seems like a pretty dangerous idea with the archive out there, though. Monica? Yeah? In my dream, Natsuko was calling out to me. She wanted me to come and find her. Plus, I think there's a score I need to settle. Fine. I don't like the idea of sending you there, but it's looking like our best idea at the moment. So, how do I get in there? You know, pretty much the same way anyone else does. What do you... Oh. Or let's know exactly what it is I just signed up for. Give us a few hours to make some preparations. If we're doing this, let's do this properly. I don't want to fail now, not when we're so close. Make sure that we have, like, saved whatever he has. Somewhere. The pair of them spent the next couple of hours huddled around the computer, chatting hurriedly between themselves. All I can think about is her. Natsuki, I'm coming. I promise. As for our other friend, I think we have a few issues to resolve. Are you ready? As I'll ever be. Just grab that last file and get out ASAP. Don't risk staying any longer than necessary, got it? Got it. Now, I should be able to just restore you both, but I'm not ruling out any interference from Archive if she gets wind of what we're up to. In light of that, Sayori's come up with something pretty clever. Well, I figured she might try and block us from restoring you. So, what I did was, about an hour ago, I started moving a few new little folders around the recycle bin, creating, deleting, restoring them. Archive didn't react to them at all like I thought. She's probably far too focused on our particular files. Amongst those folders, there's one very heavily encrypted folder to which you will have the password. It's called ARC. If it hits the fan in there, get to that ARC folder and we'll extract the whole thing. Right. John, good luck. I force a smile and nod to her. Monica, do it. Okay, here goes. The player and the MC are two different entities. So why delete the player? Well, I suppose they first need to create a file, and I suppose they called it player. Where am I? Interesting. Holy shit. Stretched before me lies an endless vista of red, scattered with that which is discarded and unwanted, all presided over by a dead sky and a black sun. Everything feels wrong. The air feels vicious. My body feels heavier. Every time doesn't feel like it's... Even time doesn't feel like it's flowing right. I've been here for 5 seconds. I already feel like I've had enough. How long was Monica here? How long was Natsuki here? I feel sick. Gingerly, I take a few steps forward. The red liquid I'm stood in forms ripples and small waves like water and is unpleasantly warm. A glance to the left greets me with the first reassuring thing I've seen in here. A large folder with ARC printed on it in large letters. The real question is, how the bloody hell am I supposed to find Natsuki's missing piece in all this? Well, I guess staying here isn't going to help. I pick a direction and start walking. This place just goes on forever. Where is she? I just want to see her face again. I have to get her out of here. What was that? I take off towards the source of the noise. Is that Natsuki? Natsuki? It's me, John. Please come with me. I'm here to take you home. Sorry, I can't. My dad told me not to talk to strangers. That's right, honey. Sometimes I really just hate being right. You should stay far away from people like this. Shirai. Natsuki, could you please play over there for a minute? We need to have a chat. Sure thing. Love you, Dad. Love you too, sweetheart. Still treating her like a child, I see. Shut up, you sniveling little imbecile. Hey, screw you, man, What was the last thing I told you? What was the last thing I told you? Don't let her die. When I ended up here, I knew it was what I deserved. This purgatory was meant for me. So why then? It's she here. You're right. I failed her. And she ended up here. But I'm here to put it right. Are you hell? You had your chance, John. I stupidly believed that you might actually be a good thing for her. And now you're just as dead as I am. At least now in the afterlife, she and I can be together. Afterlife? Is that really where you think you are right now? I'm not dead, Mr. Shirai. I came here by choice. And that... I point to the apparition of Natsuki splashing playfully in the red liquid. That is Natsuki. Not all of her anyway. Not nearly all of her. 1% in fact. What the hell are you talking about? Look at her! Is that the Natsuki you know? Really? I don't know what you... The apparition looks over at the doctor and beams wildly. His breath catches in his throat. Mean. Even in death, I can't get any peace, can I? Even now, even here I'm bound to keep getting kicked and poked, aren't I? That's what I deserve after all. Are you sure this isn't hell? Very sure. 1%. Is that the only part of you that loves your father? Fine. Dad! Dad, are you okay? Why are you crying? I'm okay, Natsuki. You're going to go with John now, okay? Be a good girl and stay strong for me, okay? That's it! We're compiling now! Huh? What? Goodbye, Natsuki. Got her! I'll restore you now! No, wait! What was that? Please tell me they can hear me. I don't know, but I can. You cheeky bastards thought you could get one by me, didn't you? No, listen here, young lady. Shirai, be careful. We're a little past that, don't you think? It's time I took out the trash. Archive, she's onto us! She's emptying the recycle bin! Run! Run for the R key! What the hell? Doc, run! But time is a factor! Right. Come on. We have to make it. We've come so far. We can't fail now. Come on, Shirai, move your ass! Damn it, John, I'm a doctor, not an athlete. Here it is. The R key. Get in! What is it? Natsuki thinks I'm dead, right? Don't you think it's better if I stay that way? Are you serious right now? Natsuki, the real one. She'll never forgive me. What's the point of me going back? What's left for me there, really? Look, you're not going to be part of Natsuki's life again. You gave that up when you abused her. You gave that up when you killed yourself. But if you want to be part of a world where she gets to live unhappily, then come with me. But we don't have time for this! Decide! I don't care which at this point. I'm going to go and see the woman I love. I turn my back and head for the R key folder. Looks like this is it. That tea was too hot. Hey yourself! You made it! Sure looks like it. Natsuki, she came back at the same point where she was deleted. We thought we'd let you go and see her first. Thanks. I think I'll go do that. Thank Thanks, you guys. John, don't just stand around here talking to us. Go to her. Right. Wish me luck. See you later. With that, I hurry down the stairs. Natsuki, you're finally home. So, aren't you going over there yourself? Perhaps another time. Ah, so he is there. Well, here I am. It's been a long time. I knocked gingerly on my own front door. Alright. A bizarre feeling. I could just waltz in there, but that would just feel wrong, I guess. I hope she's okay. I hope she remembers me. I hope she still loves me. I hope. Oh, hey! You're home! Was school okay? John? Hey! Earth to dummy! What's wrong with you? Natsuki. Natsuki! I pull her into a tight embrace. It's her. It's really her. Hey, John. What's gotten into you? It's nothing. I'm just happy to see you is all. You dork. We're all having a gathering at Sayori's place. Wanna come? I can't right now. Why's that? It's just... Yours just come over. I'm assuming the demo, since it's a demo, it was intended to also be longer than this? Is there any type of credits? I'm looking through everything now. Oh look, there's archive! There's archive RBA. I'll check real quick if it's in the others. No, so this is... But I'm assuming if I deleted it, it would maybe break something? Well... New game? Okay, that isn't doing anything. Let's load the game, see if... Ah. So now it broke, huh? Could not find label start. I just wanted to try it anyway. I make it black here. Oh god, why is the recycling bin just isn't opening? Let's restore this. You back in there? Your archive has returned. I want to have music in the background. So... Yeah, I suppose there are no credits here. Well, the mod is linked below always, so... You at the very least will find maybe... There... Like... You'll find the person that... The person... You can kind of see a little bit maybe of credits there. Because it doesn't seem like there are any credits here. Most likely because it is just a demo, and I feel like... I don't know. I'll Google... I'll quickly check on my phone if there's Summer Hope... Summer Hope Redux. Well, I collect my thoughts, because I have a lot of mixed thoughts right now. Because there were specific things, but I don't know if they stand anymore. Let's see. When I first played this mod, seems like only one person played it. Summer Redux. Huh? Let's see, DLC mods. I'll go into the Doki mod page and see if I can find the I suppose I need to do that. Nope, I can check here. Summer Hope. What the fuck? There's a Has Been Hotel? What? Why is it suggesting it to me? I typed in Summer Hope. Summer Hope. No, Summer Hope is down there by Ariane Urban Mech 360. Like I said, I'll link it down below. In development. 2018. Yeah, I get the feeling I can't find any type of Redux, so maybe the one who played it maybe created themselves. I can maybe check it out because it seems that you can't find it. I didn't find it, I just found the Let's Play when I typed it in. Yeah, I suppose this is it then. Saddening, because it was the ending that kind of got me a bit more curious now. So, review portion. Yeah. I need to think for a moment. Because I'll start up with the story, trying to figure my thoughts out there. I'm between 7 and 8. Because at the beginning I was like 6 or 7, but I felt like that was also a bit too harsh because the only other mod I gave a 6 or a 5. The 5 was because it was kind of also like a bit very strange. The only other one I gave a 6 was mainly because of some type of unoriginality. And that mod, this mod was very original. I really liked the premise. That's what I really liked. I can name some things that I really liked. Because I remember I liked the premise. I liked that there was kind of... I really liked the scene where like he was running after Sayori too. I kind of also liked... There were a few troubles with it, but I liked the way that Act 1 was kind of like... It was Act 1, but it was changed enough that it keeps drawing your attention back, that you kind of want to read. At least it was like that for me. Like, due to the small changes, it kind of helped me take pleasure in it, although there were a few scenes where it was like, this is exactly the same. But I feel like they did mostly well with trying to change it enough to be like a bit more interesting again. My main problem stems from the pacing and atmosphere. Atmosphere as in... There were a few things like... Towards the end it made more sense that the music was sometimes oddly cheery for the situation, like... We just saw these visions about what has happened in the main game, and then... We see... then we walk to Natsuki and everything, the happy music plays. I feel like that made sense, but there were also, especially early on, there were sometimes scenes where I felt like the music, like, sometimes Poem Panic was unfitting because the scene, I felt like should have been more tense. Like, towards the end it was like with Yuri and her looking for the book. Like, I suppose maybe it was intended to be humorous, but I don't really see what was intended to be humorous about it then, because it was like, we literally stole her book, and she's literally come here and wants us to look with us, and she's very concerned for looking, like, you know. And at the beginning it was also a few times where it just felt like the music didn't fit to the atmosphere. Sometimes it felt like there should have been a bit more solemn or a calm music. I felt like maybe it also was narrowed down to the tracks they used at the beginning. Towards the end they started using more tracks. At the beginning I was like... I don't know if it was... I don't know if that was... I don't know what to say. It felt like the beginning had a bit worse pacing and stuff than the end. There was still like atmosphere and pacing than the end, which is why this is more difficult for me now all of a sudden. Because specific things felt a bit better now towards the end again. So it just felt like also towards the end they started using more music, like more soundtrack that wasn't in the original. Yeah, in the original DDLC. Which they didn't do at the beginning, which I felt like some music changes would have needed to be made there as well. I'm assuming that this would have changed in the full product if they ever would have released the full mod and not just left it at a demo. Maybe it would have changed. Let's see. I need to drink some real quick. Yeah, towards the pacing. I don't fully mind the relationships. It sometimes felt like, especially with like the scene with like Monica and Sayori, and they had this like kind of falling out. I can kind of see that it would be hurtful, but I do feel like there was actually a bit of a weird dependence on each other there, especially like Monica then beginning to visit her, and then while we were like in this new universe Yuri had created, she was like, don't treat her like a child, but she was the one who kind of kept looming above Sayori's shoulder to make sure everything was fine. I mean, at the beginning still makes sense, but even then I feel like Sayori should have taken a bit of an offense to also, like, that they're making it that extreme of a deal. Generally, I feel like the pacing of the Sayori plotline felt a bit, like, off. Like, when I think about the pacing, the one thing that really comes back to mind is like Sayori's suicide attempt. It happens, then she's sent to the hospital, and then 1 week nothing happens. I do kind of get the point of like nothing happens, he's just too depressed to do anything. Natsuki doesn't want to talk to him. But I feel like the pacing there was off, especially also with Sayori's recovery and stuff like that. It just didn't feel like it had the proper development to go anywhere. Same as goes for, I feel like a little bit also Natsuki and DMC's relationship a little bit as well. I felt like it was paced just very fast in some points. And I felt like Sayori was the most obvious because after the incident, like, it only gets once called out again with like when she and Monica have to fight, but outside of that, it hardly really seems to surface even on the MC's mind. And while some people can cope with stuff like that more easily, I really wish it wouldn't have just been like, oh, I've seen that, I'm 1 week depressed, I'm straight up suicidal now. Anyway, Sayori's back to great health. Anyway, now I'll hardly bring it up with the thought of like immense dread, always. I have no worries. Most of my self-doubts have been diminished. Like, even after the conversation that Natsuki and DMC have with Sayori, like, all of his self-doubts being diminished all of a sudden after he went through such a period? Seriously? And yeah, I felt like, I don't mind the Psionica, I felt like it was kind of cute, even especially with, like, what Monica said with, that she finally kind of understands, like, how we fell in love with one of these girls, now she has fallen in love with one of them herself. I thought that was kind of cute. But there too, I felt like the pacing was a little weird. And yeah, there was a bit of dependency, but it feels like maybe that would have been called out later on. Another thing that I felt like was a bit treacherous was with the treacherous? I forgot what with the father. Now that he's back, I get the weird feeling that there's like I'm kind of concerned. Like, this is a demo. I have no idea what happens in the future, and from as far as we went thus far, it's perfectly fine. However, now that it has taken this turn, I'm kind of concerned if the mod is or were to be fully released, if there was some type of he can still become a better person arc, which I kind of would not be excited to see. Although that's much more of a personal preference and also an assumption. It would be an assumption from the little hints we kind of saw of him when he came back. But yeah, the pacing was very weird. I don't mind the pacing with like Natsuki immediately, the first day that she is back, wanting to immediately take the night back, because that could happen. It's just... Still the pacing overall, that all of it later on gets more and more kind of... Like, specific tragic events happen, and we'll call like, they're traumatic, and Yuri might be suffering through a lot because of the trauma that went through these past few weeks, but we never actually see anyone really struggling with it. Like, not even Sayori seems to be struggling with it. Not even Monica seems to be struggling too much with it, although Monica kind of like, ends up saying, yeah, I've kind of been noticed that I'm doing a bit weird there. And Yuri is an oddball here. An odd case out. An oddball? Isn't that more used of it as a more cute term? An odd case here. Which I also found strange was at the end, even at the end I felt the pacing was a little weird. Especially, like, I felt like we should have spent a bit more time in the Yuri universe before Sayori figures everything out. And, I just think it's weird how they just all dismiss that Yuri cannot be saved. Like, they just completely gave up on her upon the corruption. There's just no going back on that. Can't be saved. And I don't like that. I felt like especially Monica should still have this perception of like, I still want to fix things there. But she just doesn't. The focus is completely on everything else except for the fact that Yuri is kind of somewhat possessed by something. Now we've said all of that, I do believe a 7 is certainly more appropriate. A part of me still is lingering back to this 6, especially where I now recalled everything that, like, even the pacing here I felt was a bit off. I'll think about it for a bit. I'll go throughout the accuracy of the canon from what I can tell for now. I felt like Monica was perfectly fine, although I feel like we should have seen a bit more of her journey, maybe even. Sayori cusses at one point. We don't know what she's been gone through. I just feel like it was uncharacteristic of her, even in a situation like that, to cuss there. Because you can express intense emotions. I don't mean like she should have said freaking or something, like censored herself. I just mean you can express anger without saying fuck and stuff like that. I have friends who can show very excessive anger without ever saying anything weird, and I feel like that fits Sayori's character a bit more than all of a sudden just starting to cuss. Natsuki makes sense since she's with her abusive father, and Yuri's obsessions make sense to a certain extent due to Archive. This is where I also was struggling a bit, because I'm struggling between 7, 8, and 9. That's a wide range. I feel like 7 or 8 I feel like is better, because I already mentioned like a bit of Sayori, and a bit of Monica with like just completely neglecting what happened with Yuri. Natsuki I felt like was relatively okay. The pacing kind of did her wrong at some points. I feel like the main problem would be also here Yuri. I don't mind that she has some yandere behavior, but there, like, I don't know what Archive exactly does. Because unless it goes, like, Archive as a she titled here, unless she can amplify what they've gone through even further, then I feel like Yuri was out of character, especially with the attack on Natsuki. it makes sense for her to go cuckoo again, but as soon as she attacked Natsuki, that was not something that even Act 2 Yuri seems to be doing. Well, she showed like passive aggressiveness. It seems like she's still sticking to her character in Act 1 with being more passive aggressive, as in she doesn't actively harm anyone except for herself, because that's also like amplified. Like her passive aggressiveness, telling people to kill themselves and stuff like that, is amplified. But similar to how she's not actually aggressive, like as in physically diminishing, unlike Natsuki, she's kind of still like keeping some type of... I feel like her attacking out of Natsuki would go more into the direction of like a typical yandere and less of what Yuri represents in Act 2. Because I feel like Yuri in Act 2 is type of a more unique yandere, because she says horrific things to others, but it doesn't seem like she actively harms others, like has any intent to physically harm the others. Like when she speaks of the others, she never speaks of getting rid of them. She just says they should die, but never shows any intent that she wants to be, that she's ready to kill them to begin with. So if Archive ever amplified, can go even further with Yuri, then maybe it makes sense, but as it stands, I don't believe that Yuri would be at this stage of aggression. That she would be like physically violent. I also didn't like how like Yuri coded like this own universe. Monica struggled with in Act 2. Act 4 then was again more clear, most likely because I don't know fully what it is, but it most likely Monica also stopped meddling there. But also, especially at the beginning, there is kind of no need for it to be massively different. I just feel like Yuri shouldn't have the expertise to completely already be able to do everything of it. Let's say, okay, no glitches. That maybe makes sense. Especially since Act 4 doesn't really have glitches. But how did she already set up that she's our girlfriend and all of that? Like, how did she get so good? Or is it also Archive? That's the problem with Archive now. Like, what are its capabilities? Does it if it remembers all of Monika's and Sayori's coding skills of what they've gone through in Act 4 and yeah, Monika's entire part, then maybe it could start making sense. But even Monica sucked that towards the end. I don't know if they would be able to fully prepare it. And if it's still Yuri a little bit in control there, not fully Archive, then I feel like that should not have been possible. It's a bit difficult due to Archive here. Same goes a bit for Sayori here. With I don't believe it's unrealistic. There are certainly cases where people are like, I first want these people to have someone before I take my own life. I just feel like, given what we see of Sayori, given what she says to us throughout the entirety of, like, Act 1, I don't believe that's the case for Sayori's character. And once again, I don't know if Archive plays a role in there or not. But I will count it in for now. I also don't know if I should be harsh a bit there with, like, for example, a few things that didn't make any sense, like, simply said, for example, the part where Yuri shows us these visions from the past, and it's like one image is from Act 2, the other could have just, it's straight up just been taken from Sayori's room, but for some reason it's taken from a completely different ending with completely different context and completely different everything. But apparently we didn't see the end of what happens in Act 4, so we also probably shouldn't have seen what would happen in the quick ending, so this entire scene in there makes no sense. But I feel like I'm being a bit too hard there because they just wanted to have fitting images, I suppose. It's just that they weren't very fitting. So, since I don't know how much of it is archive, I'm not going for the 7, I'm going for the 8. I think. And for the storytelling, there were a lot of flaws, really. The problem is that the flaws were, like, at the beginning, like, literally when I picked up again and put this, like, I played this mod in 2 days. When I prepared myself to play again, I kind of was like, I'm not that invested. It was towards the end where I started getting invested with this unique idea of, like, the past souls of, or like the past memories of the girls, the past portraits, being spiteful of that these are now supposed to end up being happy, even though they cannot really be happy. I feel like that also isn't. It's an interesting premise, but also I feel like there are too a few flaws in there. If I delete archive and if I delete archive and empty my recycle bin, then it wouldn't be there. It would disappear, frankly, out of my when I like tried to click and all of that. So like even there were a few things. I'm going. The problem is I felt like I really liked the way Act 1 was a bit, but then again, there was another mod where I felt like it was done quite well, at least to bring my attention back to it always, and made it unique. And I still, if it weren't for like some other portions that came later, I still would have not given it a high amount of points. So I think I'm going to stick with 6. Because now we've talked about it again, the ending, I really like the ending is the problem, because it does make me desire to see more aside from the father plot. It's just the pacing throughout the entire mod and the atmosphere has a few problems every now and then. So there was that bit. And since it struck itself throughout the entire mod, it's like, and not just one part, it struck like everywhere a little bit. I felt the pacing was off. Sometimes more, sometimes less. In some places, maybe the Yuri development I felt was the only thing that was a bit well paced until we then came to the Yuri created universe, and it's like there is yeah, I felt like we should have spent a bit more time there, maybe explored a bit more, and not say Yuri have immediately figure everything out immediately. I also felt like I didn't like specific parts with the MC sometimes. Specific parts just felt like a bit weird. Both in pacing of his like development, like, I am so depressed, my friend straight tried to kill herself, it's my fault. Oh, she said it's not, all of my doubts have been diminished at once. This is fine, I shall never really worry too much about it anymore ever again. I don't mind the big bro little sister arc at all. But I think I'm sticking with 6 also because when it comes, if I gave 7, it would be 7.5 points. And I think about the other few mods that I have there, and it's like I feel like they still had something. The only thing there's one mod that I'm a bit doubtful about because it was simply the first mod I played, Rain Clouds, which I gave it 7.5. I feel like maybe I should have taken a few points from the story-wise, because there were a few points that I actually criticized that I then took as a part of canonness, But I feel like I also don't always want to rate mods as how I would like rate a story, because they're kind of just like fan works. They're just presenting passion for the game itself, so they don't really need to be as rated as highly. And alongside that, it was one of the first mods, so I feel like my rating still works, but I do feel like maybe they should have still reduced a few points there. But even then, I feel like that shouldn't affect the scoring of this mod much. I feel like a 7 is more fitting than a 7.5. Because the pacing throughout it really was a lot for me. And the atmosphere. Like I said, in specific things it makes sense that there's like upbeat music even though there's something off. But sometimes the music just really didn't fit the scene because it sounded too silly, or it didn't sound tragic enough, or it sounded too upbeat and not calm enough. So it improved a bit towards the end where they started including their own works, although it was a bit louder than the normal music, which was a bit scarring at the beginning when it suddenly started tuning in. That's like the Yuri portions. But I feel like that's fine, that's technical stuff. So yeah, I would give it the accuracy canon from what I can tell. Here very hard from what I can tell because I don't know the influence of archive. It would be an 8. Maybe would have given it 7, but like I said, I'm not sure with archive. And for the story in general, I would give a 6. It's still a good mod. I would have been interested to see how it continues, especially since the ending hooked me. That's the worst part. At the beginning I wasn't too intrigued, but now at the ending with like this unique premise, I would be kind of interested to see how it would turn out with like archive and what it symbolizes, and if there's any type of way of beating it, because there's supposed to be happiness at the literature club now. But so maybe if I don't. It's been so many years, I don't know if it will ever continue. I don't have much hope for it. If it would continue, maybe there would be more of an interest if they now explored more of this archive part, because that's the part that interests me due to its unique premise. But as far as I'm concerned, I would be interested to see how it goes. It did serve the purpose a demo serves. That's why I feel kind of bad giving 6 points. It's just with the pacing it currently has, and if I kind of rate it as like sort of a cliffhanger and a fulfilled story due to it, it definitely is more on the 6th sense, so yeah. That equals out to be 7 points. Still a good mod. I did have fun, especially towards the end. The end did have me a bit hooked. At the beginning, I must admit, it was with the pacing, I felt a little weird. Especially after Sayori's incident. After this thing, I literally went to bed being like, they literally just moved on from that, and there's hardly any consequences for it. So I feel like 7 points is better than more fitting than 7.5. Yeah, still, I really wished maybe if there ever is a continuation, I would be interested to keep playing, because like I said, the ending hooked me, but with the way it is right now, it's just like, yeah, 7. Works perfectly fine. Still good mod, like I said. I feel like I always want to say it because people still put a lot of effort into it. But yeah, it doesn't change the fact that the pacing really did feel off, especially at the beginning. So yeah. Have a good night, evening, morning, or afternoon. And stay safe. Yeah. Goodbye.